afternoon once again from Maytals Park. We have somebody that I brag about a lot, but Mr. Benjy Myaz is here. Thank you, blessings, for bringing me here twice to my homeland.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for the work you've been doing in Canada, all over the world.
Same.
We see a growing thing happening to Canadian reggae world, so
Yes.
we give
Yes.
thanks. I'm happy to be a part,
Yeah.
doing my ones and twos,
Yes, sir.
contributing however we can and building, you know, see.
Since Rebel Salute 2024,
Yes, sir.
that was a magical time.
Thanks for being there. Thanks for what you did for, with the work. You see, you did some stuff with footage and good vibes, good traction.
I didn't plan this one into the conversation today, but I should say we played ball together that morning. Yeah, you give me, you coached about my football, but boy, we actually played the ball before you went on stage that night.
Oh, because
And this try. You tell me show off.
Yeah, everybody knows I'm a big show of football. Everybody's in fear, you know.
The Canada is here in this house. You can't do that. Them on there.
Bless up the Canadians. Love you, love you.
Rate me. I lied. I cost me the same way. Jazz Masters. I want to start with that, if I could. That's a huge thing. I mean, the way jazz was in the 70s, it was a huge time. Now you're here with this talent around you. What are we doing with the Jazz Masters?
So, from my background as a jazz student and musician, studying jazz and different styles, so I thought for one moment that, what would jazz help me to do? So I went and started to play jazz with jazz bands and how does jazz help a musician? And really, it's a real channel of expression that is unlimited to styles and tapping into any particular genre, but jazz seems to be a mixture of things, fusions of styles, like you're cooking a cosmopolitan type of meal. So jazz is an infusion of styles that came together. Also, it allows you to free up your mind and release the things that you don't get to play ordinarily into a genre. And I wanted that platform, something like that. Reggae music have always kept us. We wouldn't even say box, but I would say a space, because it's free.
Right.
So it's not locked in.
True.
But jazz also evolves in that space too, because jazz is a part of our music background. Now we're taking jazz and moving jazz a little further. The Jazz Masters will represent that in terms of how, as an individual, how jazz has influenced my music and my musicianship. So now what we're doing is basically fusions of styles. So it's not that traditional jazz you'll be hearing.
Yeah.
It's a jazz that has evolved
Right on.
over time. It becomes smooth jazz. It becomes acid jazz. We have DJs scratching on the project. Scratching turntables.
Yes, sir.
With the guitar, bass guitar playing melody. That's a type of different. It's an acid type of jazz.
Yes.
We have saxophone players with the bass. We have piano player cooling it down with the bass. So we have mento. We have that kind of folk style of music, and it's still evolving.
Yes.
So we've been experimenting with all the styles, and this album, entitled Amanda, it pays tribute to some very special people. To begin with, my late mother, her middle name, Amanda.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to use the definition from her middle name to describe what the music is all about. So the subtitle for Amanda would be Gift of God, Worthy of Love.
Right on.
And that's the definition of Amanda in two different languages, in South America and in Africa. Brought both meanings together to form one sentence. So Amanda now also pays tribute to my mom. I'm very happy to play a special bass she bought me, my first 5-string bass. He was able to use that bass and play the melody on Amanda. So it became the title track because of that sentiment. Cool. And the rest of the album pays tribute to composers who have done so many great works and influenced us. We have the very talented Pam Hall as a guest vocalist. I'm doing some singing, so it's going to be only just like two different vocals from Pam. One song that I worked on with her. She produced that track, I arranged with her. And then I'm singing a couple of the classics that I have recorded over there. So those are songs that pay tribute to composers of the past.
And that's kind of like the root of the Jazz Masters project?
That is the first approach, is to show gratitude to those who inspired us.
Right on.
But we have our original body to present shortly after that, after Amanda.
See, me get the hardest question first in the car. That one, the Jazz Masters.
Yeah, so I had to go in length to kind of describe where it came from and where it's going.
The Jazz Masters, what intrigues me about it is you incorporating Benjy Myaz and friends. So you fly across the globe
to work,
and you take friends from wherever
we
you
have
end
musicians, good point. We have musicians from Nigeria, from Trinidad, from Guyana, from Canada, the USA, and Jamaica as invited guests on the project.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really a global coming together.
Well, me gonna help host the first Canadian one. And we have a few friends, that we're going to call. And
yes, it represents that thing. So when the Jazz Masters play, it's really the Benjy Myaz and friends that is revamped, but it's more like less vocals and features more musicianship.
Yes, sir.
Instrumentation.
I had to ask that one first, my brother. Sorry. Bring the hardest one first.
Say no more.
Trinidad.
Yeah.
That was a nice move.
Yes. My first time as a visitor and an artist.
Right.
I've played a lot of the Caribbean islands, but somehow never traveled to Trinidad. And I've been getting a lot of vibe from Trinidad. My music has been playing down there for more than 30 years.
Right.
They're about 25 to 30 years.
What happened when they put your face to that song they've been listening to for 30 years?
Yes, man. They know who it is at the time.
Yeah.
Their conversation was still sound like the record. So there was no fake voice.
Yeah, it wasn't somebody else.
No AI.
Yes, sir.
It was good to be there and to share that joy with them. And I also was pleased to be singing songs I never knew was a hit there. I was doing songs I never performed before. I had to learn the lyrics while I was down there.
Really? I love it like that.
Yes, because I've never performed those songs from the day I met them, 1996. Some of those songs that were requested from the first album, Intimate Relationship. So it put me in a frame of mind to work, because I had to go back and study the songs I wrote and never performed, learned how to express them. And on stage I had to be making sure that the lyrics was correct.
I was going to say, on your on-stage catalog now, it has to be widened or switched up.
Constantly widened.
Yeah.
I try to do songs that even if I'm covering a song, I try to do a song nobody remembers. So it becomes fresh. And the crowd that had listened to that song before, the people who are older than I am, comes over to Benjy Myaz. And Love You Wire, that's the kind of tune Love You Wire was. It's a bridge, with fusing styles and people and audience, genres and ear. And you said years of listenership, because the mature people knew Randy Crawford did that song. The younger people thought I wrote the song. So,
You are traveling to other Caribbean islands you were mentioning. That's
hopefully to do that. I have been to Anguilla. I've performed in Anguilla, Moonsplash, several years. And hope to go back there. We have St. Vincent with I and the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. We would love to appear in Barbados maybe, and places like Antigua that do festivals, jazz festivals, reggae festivals. But as we go along, we're building the catalog. It's hard being a musician and being an artist. We have to give respect to men like George Benson and Stevie Wonder and those legends, because it's difficult. It doesn't compete. It have its own uniqueness, and so music people like to put the popular people out. That brings the funds back at the gate. So you really have to be building your craft, building your product, building your catalog. So that's where we are right now. It's a building process. One hit song, two hit song is not enough for this to work.
Continuous movement.
Have to be finding them, and getting closer to more and more, composing them. So we took some time to refresh after mom and dad passed. unfortunately, I was out of my creative zone.
Good.
A couple of years, COVID came after. We all were locked down.
Remember those days?
So 2024 is really like just the year I felt like I need to get up and get back to it.
See.
So that's why I went to Trinidad, just to press gas.
Yeah, well, I can tell you from the optics from outside of the thing, where I never seen so many artists show up in Trinidad, Jamaican artists show up in Trinidad, as I've seen in the last 6 months since you were there. So
you pointed
I
that
noticed someone, I noticed it, so I was like smiling. I'm like, oh, watch out. Well, you know what? There's a market across the Caribbean. Yeah, so to a lot of the people I'm out there, on the way to the interview, if I find them on. Two-part question.
Yes, sir.
Manda Buchanan.
General.
Yeah.
Real one.
Yeah.
Real human.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Praises to the Almighty for me to come in contact with him. I've always admired his music and his style. It's always impressive. His dressing, his dancing, his intellect, his comedy. He's a very wonderful person. Certain words cannot even be had right now to describe my affection towards him and love for him as a musician, as a human. And so, seldom we find those people.
You said something in the studio last week that is so true. You said he's a star.
Born star.
And walk into our room.
Yeah. And, when he's coming out on stage.
Yeah. The whole crowd smile.
Yeah, there's a star coming out.
Yes.
You don't have to open his mouth.
True. Hey, bro.
Right? So his whole aura and demeanor and attitude.
Yeah.
He's a star. And he was the one that made every nigga is a star.
Yo,
he's a real nigga.
And he made me feel like a star when I was 14 years old. Yeah, he made me not, take certain tasks. And I was grateful for him. The Big Youth Project, you and him.
Yes.
That's the second part.
Well, that's an
I'm excited already. I'm just saying.
That's something in the making, right?
Yes.
So early that
yes.
You were there.
Yes.
We were downtown.
Yes.
And you got a chance to scratch.
Sorry, so hold on. I just want to tell the people we were at Orange Street and Charles. And that corner was where Cox and Dodd's first studio was before Studio One. I learned that day. And above our head was Marcus Garvey's office. And on that street corner, Benjy Myaz and Big Youth freestyle to a track that Benjy just created. And I have witness to it. So go on talk, sorry, go on talk. I was excited, sorry.
I will add to it.
Sorry.
So it was created 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The track.
Yeah.
But he never heard it before. That was the first time he was hearing it. Yeah. So I left it open until that moment for him to pitch. Because I wasn't gonna pitch.
Yeah.
I said let him pitch and I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yes.
And we captured some of that. We'll share that along the way.
Yes, yes.
No, we're not ready to share that.
No. but it was a moment.
But it's historic because that street is a street he grew up on. That's his area.
That's the root of reggae.
Yeah, and then you had Scratch Perry Studio was there. Mm-hmm. Bob Marley had a record shop down the road.
See.
VP, which was Randy's, had their store. Mm-hmm. He said that's where the tram carts, horse and carriage was parked for the original taxis of Kingston.
See. Yes.
So it was historic for all of us.
Yeah.
To know that even Coxon that was across the street.
Across the street from where you were rifting.
So big up Lego. Lego is right there. The Lego Beast, his studio is right there. Is one of the foundations who kept it over the years, kept the street alive.
Yes.
And Bravo, who is also there with his own studio. So big up the man from down Orange Street.
Yes, sir.
Flabber
Hold.
Historic, man.
Flabber Hold, we're gonna do this. I'm promising you that one. You mentioned something that's quite interesting about you, Benjy Myaz, being a dancehall artist, and I agree with you. But explain what you mean, because I think a lot of people, they just have dancehall into a negative connotation, and definition, and then want we for going in that box with them. But tell me why you say you was a dancehall artist.
So let's say we're going all the way back to when I was growing up. I wasn't allowed to be in the dance. So we grew up in a spiritual home. so I could only listen. And when the music comes on, the speakers in a dance, I know those songs, I hear them on the radio, but when they come on in the dance, there's something different about them.
Yes.
And the whole power of the song is revealed.
Yes.
The bass is heavy, and as a bass player, obviously I'm going to be attached to the bass line. And I always said I would like my music to play in the dancehall. So I've worked on it and shaped it. Yes, sir. For it to work in the dancehall. So I know for sure that dancehall was a space.
Yes.
I would hear ska, I would hear R&B, I would hear reggae music, I would hear everything. And there's a time they play gospel and praise and worship.
In the dancehall.
Being in the dancehall.
Yes, sir.
So it became a genre, and then it became a lifestyle.
Yes.
So it's really like, when I say I'm a dancehall artist, I'm really saying my music plays in a space. That's a dancehall space, where people lock off and in a one space. It's really a building for me. I don't have to be on 95 beats to prove, say, I'm a dancehall artist.
Yeah,
we took 82 to 85 beats per minute, Love You Higher Time, certain tracks, and they're playing in the dancehall.
All the way.
And I'm appealing to the DJs. You guys have to slow down the records.
Well, I was just gonna say, ask you 2025 and going forward. Go ahead.
That's the first thing. I'm begging the DJs to slow down the mixes. When we select a tempo in the studio, it is like you're putting up a foundation of a house. When you buy the house and you move the foundation, you really don't have a house. So if you see it for what it is, when you change the tempo, you change the feel.
Yeah, man.
And you change the pitch of a song, and everybody start dancing faster, and it becomes the norm, and people accept it. Let's revisit that. And if you even feel a little party vibe and you want to tweak your turntable a little bit, you can't make everybody sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, because we could have gone into the studio and used all kind of gears to make that sound. So be aware, when the pitch change, it change how the singer comes over. And then if the singer goes on stage and have a baritone voice and don't sound like that record that the people heard, it's really you guilty.
Yeah.
Because you've been pitching him higher than he really is.
Right. Well, as a fan of music, period, I think it's degrading to the artist. To me, as a fan.
I understand.
Because I want to hear the music. I grew up in an era where we used to listen to the A side, B side, back to the A side.
We weren't mixing that time.
Yeah.
Mixing beats per minute, making sure the next song is on time, and the pressure is on.
We used to dance to the whole song at a party.
Song used to play till it fade out.
Yeah.
Then the next one come in.
Yeah.
Or the DJ speak of the next song.
The hotel vibe, the what I call factory work.
Yeah.
What you used to do.
Yeah.
Like that. I've heard of musicians doing that, but I never really met one until you said it, and then I started to piece together the number of hours taking from rehearsals. How many? 6 nights a week?
Yeah, man. You get one night.
How many years?
I did it for 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You know, mind blowing that is for me.
You know, when you go for a job and you're qualified, but they would still ask for 5 years experience.
Yeah.
Because most jobs have that process, right? Well, the North Coast prepare those experience that you need. If you come to Kingston for an audition to tour with a Toots on the Maytals or a Jimmy Cliff, that type of plane, it's like a pilot who flies hours. You can't cross the Atlantic unless you you fly a certain amount of hours before you fly a jet over the ocean.
Yeah.
So the North Coast would be a preparation for touring, for recording. So I wouldn't beat it down.
Yeah.
Just have to make the best of it. It's a plantation type of work.
Yes,
like
sir.
most things.
Yes, sir.
On an island.
Yes, sir.
It's a third world type of country, as they say, had colonial masters before. So we work in a more modern plantation.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So that's really what it is.
But you turned it into where you are today.
For a school. I was learning, and the elders I was around were great musicians.
And the discipline.
And all of that. Because, you're forced to play music from 7:30 to 8:30, which is a certain requirement by the hotel and the standard dining music. It's not loud music. It's not. Then you come out, you do reggae music, you do show music. There's a cabaret performer. So that process helped us to correct ourselves the next day if you was messing up today. So it's like you're in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the one now where I say to you, what is your message coming out in 2025? Yeah, I want, you're not speaking up, so.
I think I've said a lot.
Yeah.
My message is more music,
Yeah.
more quality music.
Yes.
And I would love to do more performances. Visit other countries and play.
Yeah.
You know, perform in dancehall and also on stage.
So,
Live band,
Yeah.
jazz masters, Benjy Myaz and
All
friends,
of it is
Benjy
one
Myaz
thing.
with a sound system. That's, for me, is not a problem. That's
Yeah.
everything of its own expression. I'm adaptable. And I love singing on a microphone in a dancehall. Most
sir.
people wouldn't even know that.
Yes, sir.
But I do.
Yes, sir. I've seen it.
Yeah.
You got an award for it a couple weeks ago.
That's a vibe by itself, because that was going on from a long time. There was a trumpeter in the dance too, you know.
Yeah.
Hans man, you know, long time ago, you know.
Yeah.
It was a trumpet player playing on
yeah.
rhythms in the dance. So instrumentals was in the dance.
Yes, sir.
The DJs have to step up, because everything that was there, if you look at it, it was all musical and having a vibe. It can be musical and have a vibe. No, it's just a vibe. And there's no music. Yeah, we need more music.
You hear that, people? We need more music. Benjy Myaz.
Yeah, man, more creative things. You know, if everything is too much the same. Everything's sounding the same. Same software, same. But especially when you do live music, you don't wake up the same way every day.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to go back to that moment where the live feeling comes out, because every day you have a different vibe. The machine have what you put in it, and you don't only program it one way, and if you don't know how to program it other ways, your stuff is gonna be sounding the same way for all the time you use it.
I had asked Katie a similar question, but I think the answer you gave and her answer were very similar in the fact that you're here for the music.
Yes, sir. I am music itself, bro.
Yeah.
My passion is music.
Yeah.
You know, I've sacrificed 9 to 5 for music, teaching music classes for music, for doing my own music. And I don't think I start yet. Nah. We have not really gone to certain places as yet. I've toured extensively with Jimmy Cliff and with Toots, other groups, but I have not gone on my own as a soloist. And I look forward to these moments. Canada, of course.
Change that in Canada for sure.
We look forward
Definitely.
to it. Yeah, some people say I'm off the scene. I mean, I went through different family changes. Mom and dad passed, like I was telling you, I was with them for most of the time during their illness. And that was honorable. So now, you know, that's, you know, even after the funerals, I was still in that space. Now I'm kind of prepped. My trip in Trinidad kind of re-energized my creative mind.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready.
That trip did rev you up.
Yes.
Yes,
It was a good time.
Well, you hosted me again.
Yeah, man, anytime. Come in anytime you're ready, man. Very happy to have you.
You,
His name JuLion.
yeah.
Roaring one. Canadian, Jamaican. You see it?
Yeah, all of the above. All of the above. Canadian reggae
And
world.
again, we thank you for what you're doing on your networks and for what you've been doing for Benjy Myaz, especially.
Yes, sir.
Pushing my work always and sharing it with new fans and new listeners. So I'm grateful and, you know, hope to come to Canada, yes, very soon. Look forward to that.
We got that.
I think I performed with Michael at the Bamboo.
At the
Years
Bamboo,
ago.
yeah, I remember.
Just started recording, but you know,
Yeah.
it's generations ago.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Yes, so we look forward to
Yeah, we'll
coming
bring
in
you
and
again.
bonding with new fans and old fans.
I like your idea about the sound system.
I'm ready, man.
I have an idea for that sound
The
system.
sound system is a party.
Yeah.
The live band is a concert, and when you come into the amphitheater, it's like you're really in concert, but it's more an intimate thing, like an orchestra. We could do anything we want to do.
Anything.
The Jazz Masters is designed for it to work inside of a auditorium, because when we come to Canada, we'd like to invite musicians from the Canadian Philharmonic Orchestra to come over and play some strings with us.
See.
Some violins and violas and some. That's how the Jazz Masters will operate. It's a fusion of musicianship
Yes, sir.
all over the world.
Yes.
So the core is really just 2 persons. Big up Alex Martin Blanken, my co-producer on the project. As you spoke, Katie is a part of that creative process too, but we've been doing the music. And it's really kind of me now, it started with Monarchy Management out in California, which they don't always want to get credit for brainstorming with me, but much respect to Saya. Johnson from LA, who gave me the concept to put the jazz thing together. So now, you know, we're shaping it.
Yes, man.
And making it something. The Jamaica Jazz Masters.
Well, I'm going to do whatever I can to help it based on the fact that I've actually seen it.
Yes, I.
And bits of it through your career.
Yes, I.
See?
And now if the project is very close to final completion. We have already recorded, finished with recording, now in the post-production, mastering, mixing and mastering, and compiling the artwork and packaging. As soon as we get that, then we're ready to send out some sound.
Really a move.
Yes, man.
You
I was so honored that we could do something with the steel pan in Trinidad. We got to record the steel pan. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I was about to close off the album before I left the summer. And it's like the space just, it was still there for that project. To have a Trinidadian playing the pan, which just became a national instrument.
National instrument
2024. And so I thought it's a historic moment to capture it. So big up Marlon. Marlon is a pan player. That Dayton, Marlon, wonderful musician, Trinidadian.
I'm a Trinidad friend them in Canada. Going give to me, you know. You just big them up in a very
big up
good
Trinidad,
way.
Man. Trinidad is a family, man.
A family, that man.
Big up all my fans and friends in Trinidad.
Yes, sir.
Enough respect to Josan.
Yes.
Of course, in Trinidad. Lion Twin, my friends from Trinidad, who's been technical and musical also on the project.
Yes.
They worked on the song.
Yes.
So we give thanks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes. This has been a beautiful day in Maytals Park. This
big up Toots and the Maytals.
Toots and the Maytals.
Yes.
Rest in peace, great one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
One love.
Love, yeah.